Hello and welcome to Mental Health and Me. In this one, I wanted to talk about mental health and the perception of failure as a person because of it. Yeah, I've mentioned in a previous video about how setbacks with mental health aren't failures; they're just sideways steps, not backwards. So that's a subject that I've spoken about. But in this one, I wanted to talk about the perception of you as a person struggling with mental health and thinking that you failed or you're weak or you're not resilient or anything like that. Um, when I first started struggling with mental health, I was in that category of feeling like a failure as a person as a whole. I watch these videos of these people, and they're saying you just got to think positive, or the people would say, just stop doing this, stop thinking that, change your, get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and run a mile and every 3 seconds and do 1,000 press ups before you've had a cup of tea. Uh, and it's that will that's all well and good. It might work for one person, that's that's never going to help. The majority of people that struggle with mental health and feeling that you're a failure is just another problem to add to the mental health. It's battering your self-esteem. Again, it's obviously gonna play along with your depression and things like that. You're just punching yourself in the face. And it wasn't until, I started to think, well, if I had a broken leg, I wouldn't think I failed my leg, if I had I don't know, a head injury, I wouldn't think that I failed because of that. Yet, mental health problems, mental health illness is an illness. Any illness isn't a failure on your behalf. It's just part of your makeup at times. It can, be self-inflicted, I suppose, in terms of, like, say, excess of alcohol and things like that, might cause liver damage or whatever. But in the whole, most of your health issues aren't brought on purposely, you know what I mean? So you should never feel that you are a failure for having mental health problems. Any form of mental health issues that you have, you should never feel like a failure for them. You are just, believe it or not, in a growing majority really of people that have some form of mental health problems. And yes, okay, they varies from one side to the other in terms of, like, severity of them. But every person that suffers with something, it is big to them and it's a massive deal to them. But never foresee yourself as a failure for it. You didn't choose it. I didn't choose to have go on what goes on in my head, because if I did choose this, then I'm an idiot. Basically, you know. Um, I am now in that position where I'm doing the best I can to help myself, and as I've mentioned before, I'm in a place where I probably never thought I'd get to. There's times when I've literally been rock bottom, and as I've mentioned before, with attempted suicide and things like that, just to get to where I am today, uh, I've had to show that I am resilient and I'm not weak, and everything that I used to think and say about myself, I've proved I'm not them. So you're proving that as well. Whenever you think yourself less of a person for anything like this, you're proving that wrong. Your doubt, the doubts within you, you're proving them wrong, and you've just got to keep going with them, with your mental health. Keep pushing forward for help. Keep talking to people. Never give up on it, because, like I mentioned, I've been in a dark place, and I will talk specifically about them in another video. so people can see actually where I've come from to where I am, and where I'm not, I'm not done yet. I'm a work in progress, but from where I was to this point, I'm happy. So please never feel less, never feel like you're not worthy, never feel like you aren't enough as you are. Your mental health doesn't define you. If you get a label, and I'm all for mental health labels because they help, that doesn't define you still as a person. That's just what you battle and suffer with at times. But just keep going. Always, there will be light at the end of the tunnel. Keep doing yourself out. Keep reaching out to people. Keep with your medication if you're on them. Just do what you've got to do. Never feel that it makes you less in any way, shape, or form. So again, thank you all for watching, and I honestly can't explain how I feel about some of the messages that I do get in support and that. So just thank you all. Just thank you, and I hope you you sort of taking anything from this, and if I manage to help just one person in one small way, then this will all have been worth it. So thank you for watching, and take care and look after yourselves.